Blog Talk Radio.
I used to drive all over town for low prices, but now I let Walmart's incredible new Savings Catcher do the work for me. I just enter my Walmart receipt online and Savings Catcher does the rest. It compares the prices I paid for items at Walmart with advertised prices from other top stores in my area. And if Savings Catcher finds a lower advertised price, Walmart gives me the difference on an e-gift card. Now that's my kind of work.
Introducing Savings Catcher from Walmart. Go to walmart.com/savingscatcher for details. Eligible items only. Restrictions apply.
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Franchise Interviews. For over 6 years, Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship. Listen to interviews with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys. And now, welcome your host, Marty McDermott, and Franchise Interviews.
Hi everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 7 years now, we've been asking the French entrepreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott. I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and we have a great show today. We're meeting with Matt Kelton, the CEO of Showhomes, and Greg Williams of Franchise Development of Showhomes. And founded in 1986, Showhomes has helped realtors and homeowners sell more than 25,000 residential properties with more than $8.5 billion by transforming high-end vacant homes into fully furnished, inviting valued show homes. And we're going to talk to Matt and Greg about that in just a moment on Franchise Interviews. So stick around because we got a great show.
Are you one of those special people who are willing to go after your dreams and goals? Are you ready to fulfill that dream of owning your own business with the security of a proven brand? The opportunity to take control of your future and own a Rita's Italian Ice franchise is within your reach.
Rita's is seeking success-oriented individuals who are ready to make a change in their life, and Rita's offers unparalleled training and support to assure your success. And did you know the frozen treat industry is a recession-proof industry, and there are Rita's in 23 states currently with 540 stores open. Rita's Italian Ice has been around for 25 years and is listed as a top-performing franchise by the Wall Street Journal.
Now here's the really good part. Rita's Italian Ice is a unique and amazing taste treat. It's smoother than a snow cone, and it combines ice with real fresh fruit. The real fruit adds dramatically to the taste, and it comes in over 40 flavors. The ice and fruit are mixed on site and made fresh daily, and it is delicious.
You'll want to know more about this exciting and successful franchise opportunity. Go to www.ownaritas.com and get all your questions answered. That's www.ownaritas.com to take control of your dreams and future today. You don't want to wait any longer to be a part of this adventure. www.ownaritas.com.
Are you looking for a franchise that delivers? Businesses will always need shipping, and for more than 25 years, loyal customers have depended on Unishippers for reliable savings and exceptional customer service. Unishippers is focused on just one thing: helping small and medium-sized businesses save time and money on all their shipping needs. And as the largest reseller of complete shipping services in the country, we have the buying power to ensure that we succeed. The Unishippers franchise offers low startup costs, no equipment or real estate required because they're not retail, residual income, and a quality of life and work-life balance. For more information on becoming a Unishippers franchisee, go to www.unishippers.com and click Franchise Opportunities, or call Franchise Development at 801-708-5822. That's 801-708-5822. Franchisers, Are you looking to reach aspiring entrepreneurs looking to buy a franchise? Are you looking to reach a highly educated audience on franchising? For over 6 years, Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising. Our weekly franchise radio show where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys, and our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919. That's 610-905-2919.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 7 years now, we've been asking the entrepreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott. I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and as we were saying earlier, we have a great show today. We're meeting with Matt Kelton, the CEO of Showhomes, and Greg Williams of Franchise Development of Showhomes. Hey, Matt. Hey, Greg. How you guys doing? Welcome to the show.
Hey,
That's
sure.
Okay, guys.
If I don't know, our company's based in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, great. Okay, and that's where the headquarters is. So I imagine that's where, when you guys have new franchisees, is that where they go to then? Is that Greg or Matt?
Yeah, that's where we have our training, and they'll come to our corporate office. But, yeah, that's part of the training program as well. So, yep, that's go to Music City.
You know, it's every week, you know, my students, I teach for Kaplan University, and I work with this group called the Collegiate Entrepreneurs, and they're always asking me, it's like, who's on the show this week? When I described the guest, they said, wow, what a cool concept. Maybe you could describe, you know, what is Showhomes?
Yeah, Showhomes is a real interesting concept, and really it's based on helping vacant homes sell faster and for more money. And so we have a couple of different ways that we do it. And when you look at, you know, the dilemma that people have when they have a vacant home that's for sale, someone's going to go in, they're going to see the flaws right away. They're going to see dust on the floors, the holes in the wall, and a lot of times that potential buyer is going to think the owner's desperate to sell and give them a lowball offer. So what we do is we bring in furniture, artwork, and accessories and try to make it look like a model home, and it drastically improves the days on market, lowers that, and we also get an appreciably higher list price for the home. We are known for, and where we've gotten a lot of press recently, is our home management program, where we will find people with really nice furniture, executives who are in transition, and actually they're going to move into these houses, and we're going to utilize their furniture, artwork, and accessories. They're going to live in the homes. They're going to, make it look like they live in the homes. NPR says we're using people as props. And, again, when the house sells, they move to another home. And the reason they do that, they're able to live in the house for what essentially an apartment costs. So they're going to pay a third to 50% of what a rental rate. So they can live in a mansion for an apartment rate. And so that's the real value why they do it. And so that's really unique. We also offer furniture only, and now we're getting into updating, where we'll do paint, carpet, basic updating homes. So it's really anything involved in interior design of the home Showhomes is focused on.
That's fantastic. And the Showhomes Home Manager program, that is it's a proprietary program, isn't it?
No, I mean, we don't have a trademark on it, but we're the people who have been doing it longer than anyone else. And so it's a very we were on the Today Show and USA Today, a lot of different features recently, because it is very interesting as far as how it works. But it fills a void, because we're not only staging the house, but we're taking care of the home as well. So if we're protecting it from vandals, which happens a lot in theft, pipe bursts, we're there to take care of the home. And so people move a couple times a year, and if you're an executive who's in transition into a new market, you're going through a divorce, we have executives who may have credit issues who are looking to start a new life. And it's a good fit. And, we've helped sell 25,000 homes worth $8 billion list price. And, it works is the bottom line.
Yeah, it's not a small number either, is it? I mean, when I saw that 25,000 residential properties, $8.5 billion. I mean, those are pretty significant numbers, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and it's we have $400 million in our inventory right now. So there's a big need, and there's a niche service that we offer. And so we're the only nationwide players who do this. We have 60 locations in 18 states. We're growing. And, the demand's pretty amazing.
Who gets credit for the idea? Every time I have a concept like yours on the show, I'll say, why didn't I think of that? I mean, who gets credit for this idea?
Well, Dan Ortega and Kelly Rose were partners, and they actually founded the company in 1986. Mm-hmm. And so this is during the savings and loan crisis when interest rates were 17%. There were lots of vacant homes and foreclosed properties, and their brainstorm was if I could match an executive in transition with some of these vacant houses that are sitting empty, that could be a real business. So they started doing it. It started to take off. They started franchising in 94, and then 10 years later, an investment group out of Nashville bought the franchise. They put in $7 million into building the infrastructure for the system. But it started, many years ago, and I think that's a testimony to the model that it's been around close to 30 years.
That's fantastic. So what type of franchisees? What were your franchisees doing in their past life? I mean, before they became franchisees to Showhomes.
We have, I would say we have a little bit older demographic than a lot of places. We have some in their 30s, but most of ours are probably late 40s to late 50s range. So a lot of these they've left their initial career. They're not ready to retire, but they're ready to do something else, and they want a new adventure. And a lot of these are couples where one of them loves design and decorating. A lot of times the wife loves HGTV on the TV shows. Sure. And so that really works well. And so we've had people from banking, from real estate, from the car industry, from pharmaceutical sales. So it is very sales and marketing intensive. So typically you need someone who can build relationships and is stronger on the sales side to do it, although you can always bring on people to do that as well. But, we go through an intense training program. They also get certified in staging as well. So part of what we offer is the recipe kit on how to run this business. So we find a lot of people who are creative and are frustrated in corporate America, and they're not doing what they love. And, if they can do something that they're passionate about, then we find that they do extremely well. And our franchisees, when we do surveys every year, over 90 to 95% say they would do it all over again if they had the choice. So I think they love what they do. It's a fun model. It's they're busy is the bottom line, but that's kind of my little overview of kind of who we are as far as our franchise owners.
That's fantastic. How would you describe a typical day for a Showhomes franchisee?
Well, I don't know if the one is different than the other. They're all different, but they're going to be doing things like clearly it's getting houses. So we spend a lot of time working with real estate agents. That's while the homeowner is who we have our agreement with. The bulk of our referrals come from Realtors. So it's building relationships with them. So, we're looking for vacant listings. We're having conversations. Every house that goes on the market with us, we have an open house, and we invite real estate agents from all over. And so we'll either cater it, or a lot of our guys do their own food, but there's that aspect. There are networking lunches. We'll do presentations at real estate offices. We'll do, another piece is the operational aspect. Once you fill a house, then you'll have an operations team who will go in a couple times a month to inspect the homes, making sure that they're being managed, that they're in clean and perfect condition. And so that's another piece as well. We have a really robust computer program system that's essentially our CRM or system to manage the day-to-day aspects. So you'll spend time on that. There's recruiting home managers, so that's another piece. So, one of the beauty parts of this is you don't need a huge infrastructure. It's a home-based business. So we have some people who have offices, but the bulk of people work from home because they are busy going around so much between offices and houses. Right. You only need 2 full-time equivalent staff members when you start. Average is around 3 or 4. So you don't have a brick-and-mortar retail location that you're having to deal with. You're not going to have huge staff. I guess the final piece is on the staging and design piece. So if you like the, interior decorating, there's going to be the staging of the properties. There's the buying of different accessories and furniture, artwork. You can outsource that, but if you enjoy that, which most of our people do, then that's another aspect. So you're getting lots of calls from homeowners, from realtors, from potential home managers. So there's a lot going on, and just the demand is so big that after you build those relationships, the phone starts to ring because realtors get like I said, addicted. But there's not a charge to them, but they know that the houses sell faster and for more money when we stage the properties. So you'll build an alliance with 5 or 10 realtors who give you a bulk of their listings. So that's
fantastic. It sounds like a full day with lots of diversity, and probably every day is a little bit different from the previous day, which
absolutely
makes it interesting. So I think that's fantastic. How does the training work? I mean, once they decide that they want to become a franchisee, you like them, they like you. You mentioned that they do come out to headquarters. How does that typically work?
Well, there's 2 pieces. One is we have a thing called Jump Start that is 30 days prior for them to come to conference. And so they're going to have a whole series of exercises that they're going to fill out and complete before they come to training. We also have a thing called Showhomes University. We have online classes and curriculum that they'll do throughout their duration of the franchisee, but we have some things that they're going to do before they come to training. Mm-hmm. They also have a staging certification class, and they're going to do online classes from that. So when they come to Nashville, it's very hands-on. We're going to go from everything from the back-end operations to run this business to getting their staging certification with an outside group that comes in and does staging. They'll do hands-on staging in a house. So they'll end the training in Nashville. It's a 5-day training with a Showhomes University diploma, but also it's called a CPRES, staging designation that they can use on their signature in their email and in their business card. So they're not only going to be trained at Showhomes, but they're going to have the staging certification that realtors look for, so they can hit the ground running really quickly. And so we've got a really robust system. We have an operations manual that's all online with over 1,000 pages of documentation. So we have a lot of the tools of a much larger organization in a smaller company like us. And so that's once they finish training, then we have a 52-week ramp-up program where they'll be assigned a director of operations who will work with them on a weekly basis to get ramped up in the first year. And so we have a lot of structure and, a lot of checklists and, all of the agreements and everything they need to get ramped up as quickly as they can.
That's fantastic. And the online technology is really fascinating, Matt, isn't it? I mean, it's nice that they can come to training actually prepared, where they have a base, as soon as they get there, I think that's very important. I think it speeds things up because they do get a lot of information rather than they can get overwhelmed. I mean, I was a franchisee with another company back in the 80s right out of college, and essentially you went through training, you got a 3-ring binder with stuff that was very dated, and that was it. And so it was very difficult to get ramped up, and you get overwhelmed. And so we found that, if we can have that additional 30 to 45 days before they come to training so they're prepared to get to training, they're not, trying to, take a sip from the fire hose and get overwhelmed. Sure. That's fantastic. So where is the franchise expanding, Matt? A lot of our listeners probably want to know.
We're expanding, pretty much in just about every state in the United States. We're not international, but we're looking at specifically where we have the most potential is probably the Northeast and then the West Coast, L.A., San Francisco, Seattle, Portland. But, we've got, there are markets like St. Louis that we don't have a presence in. Florida's our biggest market, but there's a lot of big markets that we still want to get to. And so we're pretty much nationwide, we're looking to expand.
That's fantastic. A lot of our listeners, we call them aspiring franchipreneurs, Matt. They have it in their mind that they want to buy a franchise, but most of them just don't even know where to begin. And, your background, you've been involved in franchising for a while now. What advice would you give to them in their quest to buy a franchise?
Well, the good thing today is you can go online and get a lot of information. So clearly, that's one piece. But I would, take a look at your skill set and see what are you passionate about? One of the things that we do with any of our prospects is we have a personality profile as well as a behaviors profile to see what they're passionate about.
Right.
And so, we use a thing called DISC, D-I-S-C. We've built a benchmark of people over time, and we can find out fairly quickly if they're a fit or not. So you want to take a look at something that is going to be a fit for your profile. So with our business, we need people who are really strong on networking, and someone told me once, wallflowers need not apply. So if you're not as comfortable doing that, then you may not, want to look at a franchise like ours. You may want to find a franchise that's there's not as big an interpersonal format. But once you identify your skill set and you find something that you can really click with, then, I would think one of the things that we recommend you do is talk to as many franchise owners as you can. And so what we do that's a little different is instead of having you come to a discovery day in Nashville where we do a bunch of PowerPoints, we have you go in person and not only talk to them on the phone, but also go spend some time in the field going to some show homes, talk to them face-to-face, and really getting behind the wheel and seeing if you fit with it, and can you see yourself doing this as well. So that would be my other advice is you want to, take your time, talk to franchise owners, and, really make sure that, you have the financial ability to do the business. The reality is, and I've worked with a number of franchises, is you need to have enough money to keep your family and your bills paid for at least 12 months would be another piece. So that's one of the biggest issues I see with franchises that aren't successful. And are you passionate and can you follow a system is the other piece, because that's the key. Is if you're not following systems, you're normally going to struggle. And there's a reason you bought a franchise. That would be my other negative advice after doing this a while.
Great advice. So what's in the future? I mean, I can ask you, because you are the CEO of the company, I mean, what are the growth goals in the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
Well, we would like to have around 200 to 225 franchises. Now, when we have exclusive territories, and we're giving larger territories in a traditional, like a restaurant franchise. And so, for example, Little Rock, Arkansas, maybe half the state. Somewhere like Houston, which is a top 5 market, is around 4 territories. And so by 200 franchises, again, these are exclusive territories. That is our goal. We want around 200 locations, 225, doing $50 million a year. And then we're going to cap it. And so we're not looking to have thousands of locations. One of the things that's unique about Showhomes, we have a real family feel to the business, and that's part of our culture. And, when you buy a franchise, you're not just getting the corporate office and their staff, but you're also getting the best practices and those mentors in the field. And so we want to keep it at a smaller number, and we want people who have bigger territories who can make a lot of money. And that's kind of our goal. And as we move into other services, we're getting into home updating. We're going to be getting into the curb appeal and landscaping, I'm sure, at some point. So really anything involving the house, we want to be a one-stop shop for that. And so, we see our revenue expanding, just the revenue streams, and our overall revenue, we're hoping to double in the next couple of years as well per franchise.
Wow, that's fantastic. What's the best way for our listeners, Matt, to get more information on becoming a franchisee? Are there any websites that you'd like them to go to?
Well, they can go to Showhomes, and again, that's one word, SHOWHOMES, Showhomes.com, or Showhomes Franchise, also one word.com. And so, go there, and that'll start the sales process.
That's fantastic. I want to thank you again for coming on the show, Matt. I think this is a fantastic opportunity, and I'm going to keep my eye on Showhomes to keep watching it and invite you guys back for next year already, because I think this is an interesting concept.
Appreciate the time, and look forward to our next conversation.
Thanks so much, Matt. You have a great day, and we'll be right back with more franchise interviews.
Who's helping build America one small business at a time? Franchise Inc., a free consulting service.
For years, Franchise Inc., a national company, has been helping people franchise their business concept and help folks like you own a franchise.
With over 2,500 franchise systems out there, it can be awfully confusing. Don't take chances with your future. At Franchise Inc., we've done the homework for you. We can help match your interests and background with the franchise that's right for you. And we only work with proven franchise systems with a solid reputation and track record of success.
The consultants at Franchise Inc. can help you with your short and long-term wealth strategy.
Give us a call today and we'll send you free our best-selling book, Solving the Puzzle of Owning a Franchise.
Remember, it's not just owning a franchise, but finding the right one for you. Call us at 800-961-0420 for a quick consultation to discuss what's important to you, your business, and your future.
The service is free. The book is free. What do you have to lose? Find the business that's right for you.
Call Franchise Inc. at 800-961-0420. That's Franchise Inc. at 800-961-0420.
Franchisers, are you looking to reach aspiring entrepreneurs looking to buy a franchise? Are you looking to reach a highly educated audience on franchising? For over 6 years, Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising. Our weekly franchise radio show where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys, and our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919. That's 610-905-2919.
Hi everyone, this is Marty McDermott from Franchise Interviews, and welcome to another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising, where each podcast you get to hear a great quote in franchising. You know, we've been hosting Franchise Interviews many years now. We've had some incredible guests on the show. Today you're going to get to hear from Todd Leff, and Todd is the CEO and president of a franchise called Hand and Stone, and Todd has many, many years experience, and we always like to ask the veterans in franchising, what is your advice to our listeners as far as their quest to buy a franchise? And I thought Todd's response was quite brilliant. He narrowed it down to 3 questions you should ask, and we're going to hear that right now.
Spending significant time out there, really marketing the business, and that's where they can add value, to growing the business.
That makes sense. So you've been doing this such a long time. One of the questions I was excited to ask you is what advice would you give to our listeners on buying a franchise, Todd?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I will give you my 3 questions that I tell every new prospect. These are the 3 questions you should answer in looking at any franchise. One is, do you believe in the long-term growth of the industry? Because it's very hard in an industry that's flat or declining to claw away market share from other established competitors. So me personally, I was looking for an industry that had long-term growth potential. Number 2, do you believe in the underlying business model of that franchise? Because you can have a great industry and have a business model that doesn't work. So you have to get into the building a pro forma, looking at what the potential revenue is and what that would produce. And then the third question I tell people to ask is, can you see yourself fitting culturally with the organization, whether that's the management team that you'll be working with at the franchise, the people you'd be working with in the business, and the other franchisees in the system. Do you see yourself being able to get along and work with those groups and have confidence that these people can lead a brand forward? So I think if you can answer all 3 of those questions yes, then you really have something that you ought to investigate carefully and proceed with.
Wow, that's well said. We have what's called the Great Quotes in Franchising. I think we're going to have to put that in there. I think that's fantastic advice.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next week with another edition of Franchise Interviews. Take care, everyone.